In this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to trade options on Robinhood. So I've gone ahead, I've deposited $500 into this Robinhood account, and we're first going to start by covering how to place an option order. First things first, you're going to want to click on the magnifying glass, and let's look up, for example, Tesla. We're going to click on Tesla, and then you're going to go down here to trade. If you don't see the trade options button, what you're going to have to do is head over to settings and get approved for options trading. Now they're going to ask you your experience level, your risk tolerance level, because options are risky. They're more speculative, and they want to see that you have some experience and that you can tolerate the level of risk that will come along with being able to buy a contract. Now, once you've done that, you should see the trade options button. So we're going to click on trade options, and across the top, the first thing you see are a bunch of expiration dates. And remember, with options, we have to choose when our contract that we're going to buy is going to actually expire. Now, as a rule of thumb, the closer the expiration date, the riskier the contract is. And on the other hand, the further out the expiration date, the safer the contract is. Now, personally, after trading options over the last several years, I've found that any expiration within 2 weeks is going to be a good contract to day trade, whereas any contract that expires more than 2 weeks out and less than 2 months out is going to be a good contract to swing trade. Now, anytime you start trading contracts that are over 2 months out, you're really just not going to be able to make too much money unless the stock makes a crazy move. Now, if we look at the March 6 contracts, we're looking at the calls right now, and you can see we've selected buy call. Now, if you buy a call, you're saying you think that stock is going to go up. On the other hand, we could buy a put. If we buy a put, we're saying that we think that stock is going to go down. Now, make sure you're never selling a put or selling a call, because that could actually open up your account to a lot of exposure and more risk because you don't actually own that stock yet. So we're not going to sell something we don't own. So let's make sure we're buying, and let's just say we think that Tesla is going to go up. So we're going to look at the buy call, and we could see we are now presented with a bunch of different strikes. So the 407.50 call, the 410 call, the 412.50 call. These are all going to be the share price of Tesla in this example. And we can see the current share price is 405.80. Now, any contract below the current share price, because they're below the current share price of Tesla, that means they're in the money contracts. So in the money contracts are going to be a lot safer. Now, on the other hand, any contract above the current share price, for example, the 407.50s, the 410s, these are all going to be out of the money. Now, out of the money contracts are going to be riskier. Now, you're probably wondering why that is. Well, in the money contracts, they're safer because Tesla is already at or above that price. Because the current share price is 406, that means we're already at or above 405, 402.50, and 400. And if we're buying the March 6 contracts, all we're saying when buying a contract is by this date, we think that stock is going to be at or above that current price. And because Tesla already is at or above that current price, any of these contracts below the current share price, they have intrinsic value. They're already worth more because technically you're already right. Now, on the other hand, above 406.34, we're saying we think Tesla is going to trade up to 410 a share or even 420 a share in the next couple of days by the 6th, but we're making an assumption. Tesla is currently trading less than that. It's not there yet. So you're going to be able to make more on contracts that are out of the money. But on the other hand, with being able to make more obviously comes more risk. So you're also going to lose more if you're wrong, because if Tesla is not at or above, let's say 415 by the 6th, and you bought the 415 call on the 6th, when the market closes, if Tesla is not at or above 415, those contracts are going to be worthless. They'll be worth nothing. But it's a pretty safe bet. The further we go down into the in-the-money contracts below the current share price, I mean, do we really think Tesla is still going to be at or above 385 a share by the 6th? Probably, because something terrible would have to happen for Tesla to drop that much. So you can see those contracts, they're going to be worth a lot more. Simply put, your odds are much better at being right when buying contracts in the money, and your odds are much lower at being right when buying contracts out of the money. Now, when we're looking at how all of these contracts are currently priced, we could see the prices updating live. We could see on the right-hand side, the 405 calls are going for 620. Now, options are actually leveraged 100 to 1. So by buying one option contract, you actually hold the same amount of leverage as owning 100 shares of that stock. And that's why options, for most, are a great way to take a small or smaller amount of capital and turn that into exponentially a whole lot more, because you simply don't need as much buying power. You could trade with a relatively smaller account and you could see a huge amount of returns. So if we were to buy the 405 call for $620, right? Because this isn't $6.20. We know they're leveraged 100 to 1. These are going to be $625 a contract. Now, all of a sudden, you own 100 shares of Tesla, and 100 shares of Tesla right now at a share price of 406, you would need $40,000 plus. Okay, but by buying just one contract for $625, that's the same leverage as having $40,000 to trade with. Now, let's talk about puts. With puts, everything is going to flip. It's going to be inversed. So when we look at the share price at 406, now what we're saying is by March 6th, we think that Tesla is going to be at or below our specified strike price. So when we look at these contracts, now anything above 406, these are going to be in the money. And on the other hand, anything below 406, these are going to be out of the money. If Tesla right now is trading at 406 and we buy the 415 calls, that means we're saying by the 6th, Tesla is going to be at or below 415, and it is already at or below 415. Those are going to be more expensive contracts. You could see those are $1,045 a contract. And then as we come below the current share price here, the 405s, the 402.50s, the 400s, these are out of the money. They get a whole lot cheaper. You could see actually today, some of these contracts are down 60, 70%. So they're cheaper. They're a whole lot riskier, but you can make a whole lot more. So that's all you're going to have to do is you're going to buy a call, you're going to buy a put. Obviously, if you think the stock is going to go up or down, and then the more time you give yourself for that move to play out, for example, if we go out 2 months from now, those contracts, they're just not going to move as much. But you're also giving yourself more time. Now, with options, they are going to cost you every day to hold. There is this Greek, and that is just a calculation for when we look at the option contract, how that contract moves. And every contract is going to have this Greek called theta. Theta is just time decay, or decay over time. And every day we hold our contracts, they might cost $1 or $2 to hold. Now that might not seem like a lot, and keep in mind, the closer that expiration gets, theta is going to increase. So over time, as our expiration date gets closer, our cost to hold those contracts every day is going to become more and more and more. Okay, so if you're buying contracts that are 2 months out, theta might be $1 or $2 a contract. If you're buying contracts that expire today, theta might be almost half the value of a contract. Now, I mentioned the Greeks, and really the only important one that you need to know as a beginner is called theta. Now, I teach options trading to the full extent at which you're going to need to obviously be at to do this successfully, to trade profitably. I've been doing this for many years. I actually have been running my mentorship group for over 5 years, helping traders become profitable in the options market. Once you know how to buy a contract, you need to then understand, well, how do we figure out what stock to trade, what direction to bet on that stock going, and when are we going to actually sell that position? So you need a strategy, and you need a foundation and an understanding on trading as a whole. And so I've been trading live every single morning. I'm sharing my face, I'm sharing my video, I'm sharing my screen, and I'm actually buying option contracts. I'm entering positions. I'm trading live in front of my mentorship students. And I send out all the trades via text as well. So when I go to buy a contract, you'll see me enter, I'll send you a message, and you'll see me exit. And so students come into the mentorship, they want to learn how to trade. They're able to do that while at the same time, they're able to essentially follow along and copy myself and make money or lose money as I do. Currently this year, I've called out over 500% in gains. And so if you're interested in checking out my mentorship, I will put a link in the description below. You can head over and I hope to see you over there. We also do have a free Discord. You're more than welcome to join. That is also linked below. Now, we don't need to worry about how options are priced in and the rest of the Greeks. You just need to understand that it's pay to play. As soon as you buy the contract, if the stock just stood still and did nothing, you'd still be losing money due to time decay. Now, let's say we think Tesla's going to go up. We're going to buy, for example, the 412.50 calls. So all you have to do is click on that plus. Now, when this order opens up, you're going to see here on the top, it says limit order. Now, there are a couple different types of orders we can place when going to buy our option contract. And it's important that you know what the differences are. Now, a limit order, if we click on limit, is going to allow you to choose the exact price you want to pay for a contract. So if we were just to buy one contract, we just type in 1, and we can see here under limit price on the left, we've got the bid and the ask. The bid is currently 260, the ask is currently 262, now 264. And you can see how the bid and the ask are going to change in price. They're going to fluctuate because the market's open and people are currently buying and selling these contracts. The bid and the ask and the difference between them is what's known as our spread. Now, if we see the bid at 261, well, that's going to obviously be on the low end, and the ask is going to be at 263. That's going to be on the higher end. When we want to buy a contract, we don't want to overpay for them, right? We want to make sure that we're paying a fair market value for those contracts. If you were to go out and buy anything in life, if you went on Facebook Marketplace and something was listed for $150, and then you looked at the other offer on the same item and it was listed for $100, you can get the same thing for $50 less. Well, why wouldn't you do that? And so this is us just making sure that when we go to place that limit order, we're paying what those contracts are really worth. And keep in mind, a limit order, if we were to specify we want to get filled at 262 a contract, we can click review and we can send that through, but it might never get filled. If no seller out there is willing to sell their contract to us for what we want to buy it for, we're going to sit here with our order on the book and we're never going to get in the trade. So it's always important when trading options to look at the bid and the ask, because some stocks, the spread, so the difference between the bid and the ask is going to be much, much wider. It could be the difference of getting filled and being break even or getting filled and being down 5 to 10%. But we also have to consider that that order might never get filled and we don't want to miss out on the trade. So typically what I do is I will send in a limit order first, and if it doesn't get filled within the first minute or two, I might just send in a market order, or I might have to go and adjust my limit order again. Now I said market order. What is a market order? If we switch to market order here, well, a market order is just you putting your contracts that you desire to buy out there, and you say, hey, I want to buy 5 contracts or 1 contract in this case. I'm willing to pay whatever a seller will sell those contracts to me for. And so typically, if you send in a market order, you're going to get filled at the ask price. And when buying, we know the ask price, that's going to be the highest price you would pay for those contracts. So right now, if I sent in this order, if I clicked on review and I swiped up to submit, this order would probably fill for $270 because that's the ask right now. And so we're going to end up overpaying for those contracts, but keep in mind, we will get into the trade right away. So let's say right now we want to go in with a limit order, and we can look at the bid at 262 and the ask at 264. And we're going to be quick here. And let's say, oh, the bid is 260, 261. It's fluctuating a lot. Let's buy 1 contract at 260. It's going to be a little bit under the bid. We're going to click review and we're going to swipe up. Now we'll see here if this order gets filled. And there we go. We were filled. So we could see here our limit price at 260. We were filled on that 1 contract. And at that point, you just click done. Now we're looking at Tesla. When you're looking at the stock that you just bought a contract for, all you have to do is scroll down to see your open position. And we can see we bought this 1 Tesla 412.50 call expiring 3/6. So if you click on your contract here, now you're going to see the actual contract. Okay, so this is the price chart of the contract itself. We could scroll down and we could see, oh, now we're up $6. We could see the bid and the ask, and we can see the Greeks. Looking at theta, we know these contracts expire in just a couple of days. It's Wednesday, they expire Friday. And right now, theta is negative 115, which is crazy, right? Because we got these contracts, we bought them for like $260 a contract, and theta is $115 a contract. So if we held these contracts overnight and off of the open tomorrow, when the market does open, we're actually going to lose almost half of our trade, almost half of the entire position. Even if Tesla doesn't move up, right? If Tesla opens flat, we're still going to be paying $115 a day to hold these contracts. So you want to be careful. You want to look at theta. You want to make sure you understand how much it's going to cost to hold them. Now there are two other things that I want to point out here. We've got the volume and the open interest. If you don't know what these mean, it's also important. The volume is the current amount of contracts that have exchanged hands between traders on that given day. So today we could see the volume is 12,717. That means 12,717 contracts have been exchanged between a seller and a buyer, or a buyer and a seller. So when we go to sell this position, we'll see if we end up making or losing money. Well, we're actually then going to become part of that volume. And on the other hand, when we look at the open interest is updated daily. And the open interest represents the current amount of option contracts, these specific contracts that we bought, that are held by other traders. So yesterday, and going into today off of the open, 8,518 contracts are currently open and held by other traders in the market. And the volume and the open interest, they're going to have a direct effect on the spread. And we can see the bid and the ask here fluctuating. If there's less volume and less open interest, the spread is going to be much wider. There's going to be less people trading those trades, and that's because there's less people buying those contracts. Therefore, the difference between where someone wants to buy and where someone wants to sell is much greater. And the more volume and the more open interest, the tighter the spread will be. Okay, so you know about the Greeks, you know about volume and open interest, you know about the two types of orders, limit and market order, and you know what in the money, out of the money means, and how the expiration date is going to affect your contracts overall. And at this point, when you're ready to close your trade, let's check it out. We're up $4. You're going to click on trade. You're going to click on sell. You can use a limit or a market order. Let's type in our one contract here. And let's say I want to sell them at 261. We're going to click on review. We're going to swipe up to submit, and we sold that contract. Nice job. We made a whole 91 cents. If you're interested in trading live with me every single morning and learning how to trade yourself, again, the link is in the description below to my mentorship. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video.